This is your weekly celestial forecast for the week beginning December 18th, 2023. On Monday, we have the moon at 15 degrees of Pisces, applying a conjunction with Neptune. So that gives us a sense of sensitivity. We feel rather compassionate or charitable, and it's applying a conjunction with Neptune. And it is going to, within about a day, make a square to the sun. But on Monday, it squares Mars, the planet of action. So on Monday, we're going to have to be careful, or we could feel rather confused about what we say, what we do, because Mars, keep in mind, is about taking action and our actions, what we do, not so much what we say, but how we conduct ourselves and what it is that we want to, or how we want to express ourselves. So with the square with the moon is about how we feel. And keep in mind, the moon is about movement. So with the square to Mars, we may feel not too sure-footed about our actions, if we are doing the right thing. Maybe we should hold off a day. Did we say yes? Did we say the right thing? So we're going to feel a little bit uneasy on Monday about, or question what we are doing and how we are doing it and so on. But that is very wise because of this nebulous Neptune square between Mars and the moon. So yes, on the other hand, we may take action, and with Mars and Sagittarius there, we are feeling rather enthusiastic. Yes, indeed. And we are feeling very goal-minded, very philosophical. That's great. But when you've got this square with the moon, we may, on the other hand, have a tendency to overlook some of the details. And although that may not catch up with us on Monday, it may catch up with us later on. So be very clear about what you say, about what you do. Plan out any travel, because this square can create issues with travel and pretty much all forms of communication, although it is connected with Mars and action and the moon with our insight and our feelings. But yes, with the moon in Pisces, we are rather intuitive, kind of a little psychic. So take a hint from that moon in Pisces and the depositor of Neptune. Do trust your hunches. If something doesn't seem right, especially with the square to Mars, don't do it. Don't sign on the line. Wait till the astrological weather is cleared up a little better, so to speak. And then we also have Mercury, yes, the communicator, retrograde now at 5 degrees of Capricorn. So with Mercury retrograde, as always, and to add with the square between the moon, and then Tuesday with Neptune to Mars and the sun, right now we are going to possibly get into little scuffles of uncertainty, or scuffles because, well, the other party, or we didn't explain ourselves clear enough, or there's going to be issues with what's Mercury, the breakdown of computers or technology, or just general mix-ups in networking in general, or anything that has something to do with communication. So it's one thing we have these squares with Neptune, Mercury, Mars, Sun, but then when you add Mercury retrograde and very conservative, serious minded Capricorn, well, that only adds to a little bit of confusion. So look for these mix-ups in all forms of communications, written word, spoken word, tech, whatever, uh, on Monday. And Pluto is still at 28 degrees of Capricorn. Saturn is in Pisces now at 2 degrees of Pisces, and that makes still a beautiful sextile to Jupiter. So even though we are a little bit confused right now, these two outer planets making a sextile with each other, even Jupiter also retrograde as Uranus, it's still a very grounding, intelligent, practical application. As mentioned in prior forecasts, this gives us a sense that we have to create our own luck. Even with retrograde Jupiter. So that is an answer possibly to some of these mix-ups for this week. And Venus, the planet of love, is in Scorpio now, opposing Uranus retrograde as well in Taurus. So be careful of any kind of sudden, unexpected disputes or disagreements with love, or anything that has anything to do with the emotions, because with this opposition here with unexpected Uranus, that could really give us a stubborn outlook. And it's all about the unexpected, the unusual, the unpredictable. And right now, there could be a lot of discussions about the unusual with love and relationships and relating and that type of theme. Although, on the positive side, with Uranus and Taurus and Venus and Scorpio, it's also good to balance out these two planets in their signs, because Taurus and Scorpio are very loyal, and it's a very equally give and take type a sense within relationships, which is very positive. So that is the positive to take away from this opposition, is to be very sensitive, and it's about balancing out our needs and communicating that within our relationships. So that is a positive. And there is a trine also with the moon. So that kind of imbues us with a sense of compassion, sensitivity, charitable behavior on Monday, very psychic connection. So with Scorpio and Pisces, especially with Pisces, memories or individuals from the past may come up now, and we may have some very sentimental memories and connections with this person, people, or with memories from the past, because both Pisces and Scorpio are all about our depth and our emotions. So there's some kind of a dreamy, sensitive, charitable connection on Monday. But that's all too good. And let's look ahead to the next day, which is Tuesday, and that is December 19th. The moon is void with Neptune. And like Monday, with now the square to the sun, we're going to have to be careful of our communications. So now Mercury is still yet retrograde at 4 degrees of Capricorn, which only acts as more of a sense of conflict that we may get because of Mercury retrograde and the sun in Sagittarius squaring the moon and Neptune. So we're still feeling a little dreamy on Tuesday, kind of still a little sentimental. And Venus makes somewhat of a rather really wide trine to Neptune as well on Tuesday. So that sense of really wanting to reach out to our loved ones with compassion and kindness is still there. Kind of a very good day for those that are connected with the metaphysical. Good day for really doing some meditation, kind of psychical work, that kind of thing on Tuesday, because it really, with this connection with the moon, heightens our sense of intuition. But because the moon is in Pisces on Tuesday, there may be some concerns with this square between Neptune moon and the connection with the oceans, water, oil, minerals, and sea life. So there is going to be, yes, a bit of a concern in that area, possibly Tuesday, and possibly some concerns with moisture like snow, rain, the environment, and that type thing, also Monday and Tuesday. Okay, and yes, Saturn and its depositor is also Neptune. So, with the connection, even with Mercury retrograde by sextile, this is really a grounding aspect as well. We really want to work hard. We are really want to project a very important and sensible image, or our communications will be rather practical, sensible, pretty much this week. Much more as Mercury continues its backwards trek this whole week. So it's good because we are not getting carried away with drama or emotionalism. We really want to talk about business and money, our goals, and that's a good connection here, even with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. And Jupiter is at 5 degrees retrograde as well in Taurus, and that makes a sweet trine to Mercury as well. So kind of the theme between Jupiter and Saturn, it kind of makes us believe, with especially here with Taurus and Capricorn, two very earth-bound signs, it really gives us this forward-looking positive attitude that we make our luck. And if we work hard and really focus on our goals, kind of like the sign of Capricorn and the connection with the 10th house, and with Jupiter, with the sign of Taurus with money, well, then we very well could achieve our goals. And that's what's so positive contained within this trine between Mercury and Jupiter, even if they are both retrograde. But keep in mind right now, with all these planets retrograde right now, with Jupiter, Uranus, Mercury, there's going to be a lot from what the past, as mentioned, places, faces, memories, and so on and so forth. But keep in mind, the planets are not at their best retrograde, so this also may frustrate us in certain areas. For example, with Jupiter retrograde, even though it makes a trine to retrograde Mercury, we may feel frustrated, like luck is not on our side quite yet, like we have to develop a certain wisdom, Jupiter retrograde, that everything is going to be okay and we have to just stick it out, whatever we're going through. So this is a positive trait with, in this case, Jupiter retrograde in Taurus. It gives us a lot of finesse and the need to really stick it out. So retrograde planets do have a positive aspect to them. Yes, indeed. And so let's look ahead to the next day, which is Wednesday. Yes, and now the moon is in Aries late Tuesday and then into Wednesday, and it is conjunct Chiron, the healer. So there may be some issues on Wednesday that are brought up from the past. There's that connection again with the past, but now with Chiron, or issues where we feel we really want to heal emotionally because it's conjunct the moon, even in the fire sign of Aries. So, this may be a day when you have a very important conversation, or maybe you close the book on something that has been rather toxic or difficult to deal with, and you start a new beginning because we are talking Aries, the first sign, and all about beginnings and fresh starts. And now we've got the moon in Aries. Well, also Tuesday night, maybe very, very early Wednesday, making that square to Mercury, the communicator. So, kind of like Monday and Tuesday, we've got these additional mix ups in communication because of the moon now. And the moon is all about movement, traveling, not just our emotions. So, on Wednesday, especially with the moon in zesty Aries, we're feeling rather restless, and this is going to start late Tuesday and into Wednesday. And late Tuesday, because of the square between the moon and Mercury, watch what you have to say late on Tuesday or very early morning of Wednesday, because we're talking two cardinal signs here of Mercury, even retrograde very early on in Capricorn, and then early the moon in Aries Tuesday night. So be careful of really wanting to push your way around, to really want to take the lead, to insist that your viewpoint is right, and so on and so forth, because with Capricorn and Aries, both are very kind of me first signs. And so Tuesday night, very, very early Wednesday, this could be the issue here. Both parties are kind of clenched in their need to take charge, to be number one, and therein lies the issue. So be very broad minded in your communications later on Tuesday and very early on Wednesday. And do be careful of your travels because of the square between Neptune and the Sun and Mercury, the communicator, and now with on late Tuesday, really, really early Wednesday, the square with Mercury, and that is connected with all communication. So, yes, could be breakdowns of tech, mechanics, and the like, written word, spoken word, some frustrations with all that late Tuesday and into Wednesday. So, be very cautious of all forms of communications. And now Pluto is at the 29th degree critical sign of Capricorn. Yes, and moving direct. And now we're going to look at the next day, which is Thursday, yes, and the moon is void in the sign of Aries and conjunct the North Node. And kind of like the day before on Wednesday, the nodes are about kind of like our feelings. It's a point in the sky, and this is connected with how we feel, our approach to life, and so on. So, kind of like Chiron, the healer, North Node to some degree is also like this, and now it is conjoining the moon. So, we could say Wednesday and Thursday are all about kind of going within and healing, or having a healing conversation. And this is very positive, although, even though the moon is void on Thursday, a good time to kind of have some sit down talks, important conversations, and a sit down with ourselves and go over whatever we want to heal, or going deep within our emotions on Wednesday and Thursday. And now there's also the square between Pluto and the moon, and yes, even the south node in Libra. A bit of a wide T square here. So, what is cardinal? Cardinal, as mentioned, is about leadership because the cardinal signs want to take charge. They are natural leaders. And when we have the moon in a square with powerhouse Pluto and the south node in, well, harmony minded Leo. Well, on Thursday, that's what we're going to have to watch out for is power plays and be careful with those in authority. And because Pluto is at the 29th degree now, critical of Capricorn, and within this T square, we want to lead, we want to take charge, we really want to put our ideas out there. And with the South Node in Libra, this is kind of a creative or artistic expression there. The issue is within authorities. If you are an authority, don't overstep your bounds. And on Thursday, we may hear of authorities, leaders, and so on overstepping their bounds. And there really is a desire to be the best. Number one here, as long as we don't step on other people's toes and really power trip quite a bit with the Pluto powerhouse in Capricorn, Aries moon, and also the South Node in Libra. Yes, and also be careful of relationship disputes on Thursday. Why? Because the depositor of Venus, which is connected with relationships, the depositor is Pluto in Capricorn within that T square, and then to add to it, the other depositor of Venus is Mars, and that makes a bit of a wide square to Neptune. So, yes, Thursday is the day for Confusion Day. That's what we'll just call it. We'll call Thursday Confusion Day. But with the sun even late in Sagittarius, also at 29 critical, and Mars in Sagittarius, we still have plenty of enthusiasm. And the sun, however, makes an out of sign conjunction with retrograde Mercury nonetheless. So we really are very eager to communicate our thoughts. But the problem is, as eager as we are, as much as we want to shine and we want to really express ourselves, because we're talking the sun here, making the connection with Mercury, there's this mix up with Neptune. So we don't want to end up being overly critical of each other because we really either can't get each other, or there's a mix up with relationships, or so on and so forth. So the positive here is just to continue to aim high, continue your enthusiasm, but yes, be clear in all communications, and be careful with those in authority, and try to find the best that you can about Thursday and its somewhat topsy-turvy aspects. However, with the sun late in Sagittarius, it is making a out of sign sextile with practical Saturn. So yes, here is a positive aspect for Thursday. What is that all about? It's about responsibility and keeping our nose to the grindstone and aiming high with Sagittarius. Yes, so try to find the positive, even in a mix-up kind of a day on Thursday. So let's look ahead to the next day, yes, which is now officially the weekend, and the moon is in Taurus. Yes, it is. And it is making a conjunction and then just past the conjunction with Jupiter. Now, that's a great aspect when it comes to what? To money. So possible good financial or job news on Friday, or yes, there could be something connected with luck. Yeah, possibly gambling. Gambling. That's a bit of a stretch with Jupiter there in the moon, and that would have to depend on your personal chart. But yes, it's a good time for money news on Friday. Good to look into anything that deals with money, the stock market, real estate, uh, and so on and so forth. But we have to keep in mind Jupiter is still retrograde. So be cautious in some of your investments and also signing any job or financial contracts as well. And the Jupiter here, the planet of luck and good fortune, and the big deal planet as well, late Thursday, very early Friday, also makes a bit of a trine more Thursday, late Thursday to Mercury now in very early Capricorn and the Sun. So we still have plenty of enthusiasm with Mars in Sagittarius, but the tone is starting to get serious come Friday with now the hint on Capricorn with the Sun and Mercury. It's all about business. It's all about finance. It's all about our ambition and hard work. Turn up the volume with the job and work business connection on Friday. And with the moon and Jupiter in Taurus, yes, we are all about really spending overtime at the office or your job on Friday. But that's good because, well, what does Earth do? It generates money. Yes, indeed. So good money aspects and a lot of hard work to start off the weekend. Yes, even on a Friday. And that is going to be our focus. But now with the Mercury and Sun in Capricorn, we are feeling now a little bit more confident. But yes, keep in mind, we still have that square between Mars and Neptune. So, yes, this week is going to be about some mix ups, maybe some tech issues and whatnot. But now that we've got Capricorn on the block, we mean literally business. And let's look ahead to the next day, which is now Saturday, the 23rd of December. And the moon is further along in the sign of Taurus and conjoining unexpected, unusual Uranus. Yes, and what is the Earth connected with Taurus with the Earth? Yes, it's also now connected with the unexpected and our Earth. So, yes, on Friday and especially on Saturday, look out for some big earthquakes or big earth changes and so on and so forth. And because not only do we have the moon connected with Uranus and retrograde, so that kind of toughens up Uranus and the unexpected just a little bit more, but now we've got uh, the applying trine to Pluto here because 29 degrees. Pluto is a very special degree. So it's good because there is this trine with Pluto. Yes, with the moon, still all about money on Saturday. But now that we've got the moon with Uranus and making an aspect, even a positive aspect with Pluto, the powerhouse. Yes, get ready for some earth changes over the weekend. Yes, Friday, Saturday, and possibly as we get into Sunday. But this is all good. This is going to be a very serious weekend about our money, our ambitions, hard work, real focus for the weekend. And really, we have a real strong sense of our power, which is good. But we cannot omit here, even so, we've got the moon and Uranus joining up together opposing Venus. So kind of like a couple days earlier, we don't want to get into the good old tit for tat or disputes with love on Saturday. But the good connection, as mentioned prior earlier in the week with the opposition here with Venus in Scorpio, is we find that balance within relationships. The give and the take, the equality within our relationship, and really developing that balance, that sensitivity with each other. But because of the opposition with Uranus still there, we may favor the weird or the unusual about love and relationships, or unusual topics, or because Venus is also connected with art or artistry. We may favor pretty much this week any kind of unusual art that could be in music or literally artistic art, anything creative whatsoever. But kind of like with Capricorn, Scorpio is all about business, but on a very deep level. Scorpio deals more with the emotions and getting to the bottom of things. So we're going to have kind of this investigative bend this week as well, with Venus in the very deep sign of Scorpio. So on Saturday, Friday, Saturday, with the moon conjoining with Uranus, we want to get to the bottom of any kind of oppositions, and quite literally here, oppositions that we have in all forms of relationship. What makes each other tick? Why are there conflicts? We really want to figure things out. And keep in mind, this is connected with all relationships, business, family, love, you name it, all relationships in general. What is the answer to all forms of our communications and our interactions with each other? But these questions are really going to come up this weekend for sure. Okay, and now even Mercury is now going back into the sign of Sagittarius, now also at critical 29 degrees. So, pretty much as stated all this week, now that Mercury is now flipping back into the sign of Sagittarius, and now Mercury is squaring nebulous Neptune. Now on Saturday, we've got mix-ups definitely within communications, not just written word or spoken word, but keep in mind this week, because of these square offs with Neptune, and earlier in the week, the conjunction with the moon, all this week, and especially now typified on Saturday, and Mercury heading back to conjoin Mars, we have to be very clear, because we may find this week we are in disagreement simply because their frustrations in communications. What did you mean by that? Well, you said this, or I said that, or we're frustrated and we may take our frustrations out on each other because of computer breakdowns or problems with AI, tech, and so on. And this may come out in public too. There may be frustrations and communications because why? Mercury rules the airwaves. And so don't be surprised if we could see more public disputes as well this week. So this weekend on Saturday is no exception, and perhaps some of these earth changes are an effect or an after effect of some of the human condition and human frustration. So let's look ahead to the final day, which indeed is Sunday, and that is Christmas Eve, or December 24th. And we now have the moon in chatty Gemini. Oh, yes, but but it is making the square on Sunday with very responsible, duty-oriented Saturn. So on Sunday, we may feel a little bit lackadaisical. We may want to just take it easy, or for whatever reason, others are rather critical, maybe a little bit overly critical of us, or we are a little bit critical or overly critical of those nearest and dearest. Even though all we want to do is travel and socialize and we're feeling rather glib, that's great. But we can't omit here, yes, we have the square to Saturn and its depositor of Neptune. So even on Sunday for the final day, that kind of clouds our communication and our criticisms. And so we'll have to lower also our expectations towards other people on Sunday, because oh boy, we not only have the square to Saturn, which there is very responsible and critical, but then the depositor of the moon, chatty moon, restless moon in Gemini is what? Oh boy, yes indeed, is Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, and that there then in turn squares Neptune as well. So yes, we are really feeling a little ruffled on Sunday, but as always, take a hint from Saturn and the sweet sextile, out of sign with Mercury and in sign with the Sun. It's about what, believe it or not, taking responsibility, really keeping that sense of duty and hard work, and really developing our confidence and not really getting into these petty, mutable sign disagreements simply because we may not understand each other. It's not that we're intentionally trying to deceive. It's just that there's a lot coming up from the past now. We're feeling rather frustrated, like we're stuck in gear and the brakes are on. And of course, Saturn, with the mutable square, will make sure Saturn is in charge and will put the brakes on. So we will have to just what this week? The key word is patience. Patience, hard work, and sticking to that sense of duty. These are the positives about this week. So if you can develop patience and realizing this too shall pass with some of these snags in all forms of communication, and for the final day, develop your social skills, even if nobody understands us or there's a lot of restlessness, maybe some mix-up or confusions with travel, which, by the way, on Sunday you must be cautious of. Well, we want to be as positive as possible no matter what. And for the holiday season, everything will work out just fine. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my contact information is down below. I give one-on-one readings and written reports. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell notification. Until next time, many, many blessings.